Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm starting today as staff is in a meeting, so he will follow, and then we will have a special guest, I understand. But first of all, I would like to say hello to Shihab Ratanzi from Al Jazeera. He's covering for James Bays, and very welcome to the briefing room, Shihab. Okay. I will start with a statement by the President of the General Assembly. She strongly condemns the attacks against 2 mosques which took place in the city of Christchurch in New Zealand today. Mrs. Espinosa conveys her deepest condolences to all bereaved families, the people, and the government of New Zealand. The PGA says that this heinous act of extreme violence against a house of worship is an abhorrent crime. Mrs. Espinosa stresses that more must be done to combat intolerance, hate speech, and extremism for the sake of humanity. She wishes all injured in the attacks a speedy recovery. The PGA has expressed her solidarity with the peoples and the governments of Malawi and Mozambique after the heavy floods which affected both countries. A week of severe storms have killed more than 100 people in Malawi and Mozambique and destroyed thousands of homes. Today, media reports indicate that 500,000 residents are affected in the Mozambican city of Beira, with no electricity and limited communications. Mrs. Espinosa is very saddened by the loss and damage caused by tropical cyclone Idai and the dozens of thousands of people who were forced from their homes because of the extreme weather event. More on our website, un.org/PGA/73, and you can check also the PGA's videos on our YouTube account, which is United Nations GA73. And this is actually all from us today. Do you have any questions? Yeah, Sharing, how are you?
Hi, Monica. Just a question on the announcement by Mike Pompeo, the U.S. Secretary of State this morning. They're announcing that they will be placing sanctions and visa restrictions on any members of the ICC, including judges and the prosecutors pursuing an investigation against the United States in terms of the preliminary Afghanistan probe. What do you make of the statement from the top diplomat in the United States that they would sanction senior prosecutorial and judicial officials of the ICC if they pursue an investigation against the United States?
Well, first of all, on the ICC, you know, this is an independent body, and the PGA is very respectful of the work that the ICC does, as other bodies in the United Nations. With regard of the statement by a U.S. representative in this case, I think I would refer you to the U.S. mission. Thank you. Go ahead, Errol.
Any final thoughts and conclusion on this summit on women? Many of the women in power and president said it's not only about the numbers, it's about impact. What is the opinion of the President of the General Assembly? What would be the impact of that, if any?
Yes, as we do with all high-level events, the PGA is very keen on keeping track of results, outcome, as we have, of course, we stress and we focus on accountability and also, but the results of our own work. You are aware that not only the heads of state and government who came here, but also other participants signed a plan for action with 8 points that will now be promoted, but also encouraged to governments to follow, to take up, and to take action, most importantly. Because as we saw by the heads of state and government who are here this week, you are spot on. It's not only a matter of data or legislation or speech or rhetoric, but it's a matter of a political action. That is probably the strong message that we took from this meeting this week. it's not only talking about women in power, it's not only talking about women being at the decision-making processes, but is having women included and, most importantly, listening to them. Yes, go ahead, Sherry.
Can I come back to that
Yes.
question and ask it in a different way? What is the PGA's opinion on the work of the ICC? Does she support the work of the ICC? And if so, does she believe that investigators and judges should be able to go about their work without the threat of punitive measures by countries, whether the United States or otherwise?
Look, the ICC is an independent body. It's not, the work of the General Assembly, as you know. The PGA has been very respectful of decisions taken by the ICC, by the International Court of Justice, and other bodies, that work together with the United Nations. But again, I understand your question and respect it. However, the reaction or the decision by a particular member state, I would rather refer you to this particular mission represented here to have your reaction. But I thank you.
I'm asking you about a principle, Monica. I'm not asking you to denounce the United States. I'm asking you about a principle that does the PGA believe in the work of the International Criminal Court or not?
The PGA supports the work of the ICC. The PGA supports of the work of the ICJ. She, including in her own statement as a candidate, you may recall because you covered that, she was very clear that this is an important work that is being done on the spectrum of international scenery and also the international body, international legislations framework, as we say. But on this particular issue, I would rather leave you with the respective mission, okay? But thank you very much. Any other question? Okay, I just saw somebody there. I will actually leave you, I think Steph is coming, probably not. So we'll have a little bit of break before Steph comes, and a big break for the weekend, which I wish you an excellent week. Masoud, you had some. Oh, you have a question. Okay, before I go. Okay, the break hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On ICC, because I want to
Sure.
help my friend. What is the relationship between the GA and the ICC? Forget the ICJ. The ICJ is part of the United Nations system. It's one of the 6 organs.
Yes.
What is the relationship between the GA and the ICC?
The ICC is an independent body, so it's not. It doesn't report to the GA. It's not affiliated to the GA, as you mentioned. The ICJ is one of the 6 main bodies of the United Nations. So the PGA said in the past that she is respectful of decisions that are made by the court. She supports their work. But we don't have anything, we're not directly related to the ICC, and we don't have any particular interaction apart from being, of course, a recognized international body in the framework of legal affairs, international legal affairs, by the way. So it is not, and if you ask me, I'm trying to help sharing or not, it's an important question, and I consider that, I acknowledge that. It's not up to the PGA to react to independent decisions by member states. Member states are entitled to take their decisions, and we don't have any particular comment on this. But, okay, on this, if you don't have any other questions, I would say have a good weekend.
Doesn't the ICC, though, come and present its annual report to the General Assembly every year? You say there's no interaction between the GA and the ICC. I don't think that's necessarily correct.
The ICC doesn't report to the GA. That's what I'm saying. So it's not up. For instance, the president of the General Assembly is not the person in charge of receiving the reports. The interaction exists, of course it exists, and the PGA acknowledges their work. But the PGA is not here to comment on particular individual decisions by member states which are sovereign to make their decisions. So we recognize this, and we also appreciate the cooperation, but we're not here to comment on this. Okay, so thank you very much. A break now? It's up to you. Thank you very much, and I see you on Monday. Thank you. Take care. Thanks. Bye.